The first page that you come to when you go to your Open University homepage is the sign-in portal. So to go to that, you go to open.ac.uk, and then in the kind of middle region here, it says sign in. So when you sign in, you then type in your email and password, which will be given to you in an email from the Open University when you first register. For me, the format is two letters and then four numbers, and then you simply click sign in. And this takes you to your student at home page. So this is where most of the resources, or pretty much all of the resources actually, that you will ever need for your OU studies will be found. I'm just getting rid of some of my tabs up here. So I'll start off on the left hand side. This tells you your personal identifier number if you don't already know it. And that's what you will use when you contact Open University. They will ask you if you call up their customer services line, and they will ask you for your PI number. That's what they mean, personal identifier number. This is where you can amend your email address, so you can change that as your primary form of contact, how they contact you. You can view the emails they have sent to you recently, so newsletters and updates and stuff like that. And you can also update your personal details, such as your address, how they contact you, and all that type of stuff. Your study record will indicate your previous modules and what you've completed. If I just open that up now, it will list you the completed modules that you've done, and any modules that you may have deferred from or enrolled on or cancelled, or all that type of stuff. As you can see, I have a lot of modules down there for different reasons. It also will give you on that page, on your study record page, the latest day that you can complete the entire course for it not to qualify as a qualification. Okay, so moving down, this is something which I didn't actually find out till my second year of studying, which is that you can get all of the Microsoft Office suite programs for free. So that's the main ones are obviously Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Outlook. If you go to this like icon here, which this says Office 365, and you open that, you then sign in with your Open University email address. So your Open University email address is that when you go to that first page, and I typed in my username, which was two letters followed by four numbers, it's that, and then followed by @ou.ac.uk. So that's how you sign into your account with Microsoft, and that'll take you through to their page. In fact, I'll do that quickly. And then go to next, and then it takes you to your organization sign-in page, which is obviously the Open University. So this is their sign-in portal, and then you sign in with that password, and then if you go to install Office, and then you click install Office 365 apps, it will download the installer for you to run and install. Obviously I've already done that, so I don't need to do that. Access to your personal blog. So each student has the option to blog, and the other students and OU members can see. I used to do mine quite a lot when I was on the law qualification, to talk about like my whole legal journey and how I was getting along with stuff. I haven't done it, or haven't planned to do it yet, for switching over or back over to psychology, but I think that's a really useful way. So I've deleted all the posts that I did have on there. As you can see, I had quite a few, and I'd racked up like 2,000 odd views on my blog, which was quite cool. Your calendar, that's a calendar that you can entwine with like Google Calendars, and that just tells you, what's coming up, but you have to obviously add new events and do all that type of stuff. I think that's really useful to do if you use the OU calendar platform quite a lot. There is a way to integrate that with Google, I believe. I haven't done that because I don't use that calendar myself. Also, then it says tools. You can choose your next module, you can view your student loan, and then this one here is very important as well. When you first go onto a module, you need to book in for your tutorials and study events. So study events and tutorials can either be online, so they're used via Adobe Connect, and that means that you watch a screen on this like portal software, and you can interact with the tutors and other students then, or you can book to go to the face-to-face tutorials. Some regions don't have face-to-face tutorials at the all the time throughout the year. My current presentation doesn't have face-to-face tutorials, for the module that I'm on. The services is pretty self-explanatory. You get a computing guide. I'll go over library services in a second, but there's also the careers service. I think the OU careers service is one of the best that I've came across, far better than Citizens Advice, which was the National Careers Service, and they can give really detailed information to help you kind of plan forward. There's also services for disabled students. If you're registered as having a disability, you can receive the print on demand service, which means all of the module website gets printed to you and sent to your home for free. Some modules allow you to buy the print on demand service for a small fee. Some modules don't. So that's different. Then you have the help center, which is basically, it brings up a load of questions that helps you get to know the Open University, kind of anything you can really think of that you'll need an answer to. There is the option to go into the help section. If not, you can always ring up the Open University like call center themselves. You have the OU system status. Sometimes the Open University website is down. There are a current lot. There are sometimes issues with logging in, issues with accessing courses and materials. If you open that, that will tell you if they know they're experiencing an issue and they're working on it, and what the outcome is. The links portal here, again, that's just different kind of build-ups of the things I've already gone over above. There's nothing really important in there. You can always add links yourself to certain sections, even different websites such as YouTube, such as pages for like academic journals and stuff like that. So that's how you do that. So yeah, I recommend you to go into your tutorials and study events. The first message that comes up is quite prompting you to do that. So if you go into there, you then click into the title of the tutorial, and then that will allow you to book on to the tutorials. I always book on to 2 of the online tutorials because they are done at 2 different presentation times. One is in the morning, one is in the evening. So to book onto both, it allows me to be flexible, and if I miss one, then I've not missed the cutoff date, because there is cutoff dates to when you can book on them by, and that's spoken about or stated, should I say, up on the page here. And if you don't book on them by then you can't actually access that tutorial. You don't get penalized if you book onto a tutorial and don't attend it, so that's not something that you need to worry about. It will tell you the venue, and then if you click the venue, it will give you the details about the venue. As I've just clicked online, I will then click from the module website that it brings me to, and then that will bring me to the page that says my tutorials, and then I will click the venue here that will bring open the Adobe Connect software. So I then will click join room, and then this will open up Adobe Connect and allow me to obviously it's not going to be open because of the time it is, the module hasn't started yet. Okay, so yeah, that's how you access the online tutorial rooms. So let's go back to the student homepage, just so I can go through a few more different things. The date of your module result that is listed below your module. So what I should have said before is that this box here will list all the modules that you're currently enrolled on or that you've completed. You get access to the module when you've completed it for 3 years after the date of that module opening, of that module closing. So when you close it, you can still access the content for 3 years afterwards if that qualification is still open. So the date of module result allows you to view, in simple terms, when your module result will come through after you've submitted all your TMAs, ICMAs, and EMAs. So the online TMA EMA service, I'll go ahead and open that up in a new tab here. And this is where you will submit your tutor marked assignments, which is a TMA, where you can view the scores for your ICMA, which is like an online kind of checkbox assessment. And then if you have an EMA, which is end of module assignment, or if you have an exam, then you will also be able to view your scores on here. You can also view things like the assessment strategy. You can predict your module result, which I think is really helpful. When you start and get some scores for your TMAs, you can enter that into the assessment calculator, and that will tell you what they think that your grade will be at the end of it, and if you get a pass or a distinction or a fail in your first year, or if in your second and third year, if you get like a first or a 2-1 or a 2-2 and such forth. So that here to submit a TMA, you simply go to the TMA that it is, you click the submit TMA button, and that will bring up the page. So first of all, you select your file, then you have to read all of these statements, and then you click submit, and they will give you a receipt code, and that will let you know that your assignment has gone through to them. So then if there's any problems with them saying we didn't receive it, you can show them that receipt code and prove that you did get it. The assessment page brings up like the undergraduate guide for assessment, what it should have done. I guess it's just brought me to the same page. And then you will click the assessment handbook. I think this is one of the key mistakes that I made when I did my first year, is that I didn't really pay attention to the undergraduate guide for assessment. That is full of such a great depth of detail that you need to become familiar with that before you even start your studies, because then that allows you to build up the knowledge of what to look for. That the study materials dispatch date is just when you see when your items have been dispatched, and if you receive the print on demand service, when that is shipped out, a new section will appear below the study materials dispatch date that will say something like disabled study materials dispatch date or print on demand service dispatch date. The student support team is the team that allows you to contact different areas of the university for help with different things, and you go into the website website page and choose what department that will then follow through to. There is different student support teams for different areas, like I said, such as careers, such as like computing and resources and financial support, and even like they will help you get access to emotional support and stuff like that. Quality assurance, I've never actually been in here myself, so I just want to see what that is. Oh, I guess that's just a little statement they provide you that they're what they are promising to give. So then if you go to the top again, next to Student Home, you have your profile, and the profile is where you can upload a picture of yourself that other users can see, and where you can access details about you, change your password, edit your online appearance, and set preferences for your like VLA and stuff like that. That's just useful to go through. If you want to go into your current needs as well, I mean, I'll blur this out on the screen, but you can put in if you have any disorders and stuff like that, that the Open University will then be aware of it, and they can help to tailor things to your need as well. Okay, so next to the profile, we have the study button. And what this does is this redirects you to like a study home. So the study home is where it will bring up the social media feeds of the Open University, just to allow you to see news and stuff like that. And again, you can add links to them. It will bring up this week's study, so it'll have like an ongoing update to allow you to know what's coming up, what to look ahead for, and stuff like that. It's a pretty simple page. I don't really use it myself. So the next two pages that I'll cover just quickly, it is the library tab, and then the careers tab as well. So the library services is kind of your online library that allows you to access academic journals, articles, and depending on what module you're doing, it will allow you to kind of get hold of a wide breadth of resources. If you go to the library home and go to by subject, and then click your subject, you can access all the subjects no matter what module or subject you're doing. So if I wanted to look at law stuff, for example, even though I'm doing psychology, that would be possible. And if I wanted to suddenly look at computing stuff, then I could. And then you go to your area, your subject, and then it will bring up the different websites for you to be able to access. I won't go into that now. This isn't a tutorial of how to use the library. And then lastly, there's the careers page, which allows you to kind of gain skills on building CVs and stuff like that. So finally, if I go to Student Home, I will go to the DE100 website and record. This is just a module that I'm doing at the moment after I've transferred back from law to psychology. Okay, so across the top we have the assessment tab, and that brings you to all the resources that will be contained and kind of linked to your assessment. So you have the guidance, you have a booklet, you have the social sciences assessment information. This is all very, 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 very useful, and I recommend going over all of this before the module starts. I think that's just good practice to get into. The tutorials tab will show you the tutorials that you're booked onto, and again, you can access the rooms where they're streamed through Adobe Connect as like a quick link. The forums are something which is, again, I've never really used them, but I'm going to start and use them this time. So the welcome forum is open for all modules when they start. It closes though soon after the module begins. Probably it's usually about a week afterwards, and this has a load of questions in that you can post to tutors. You can interact with different students. Usually on here there's links to WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups, and this allows you to kind of build a social circle around your studies and get that motivation built up. There are certain rules that the Open University stipulates that you have to follow when interacting on social media when discussing work, and essentially the ground lines are that you're not supposed to share your scores that you receive, and you're not supposed to talk about anything that links directly to an assignment, such as discussing answers or even how to answer. That's just the forum. You also have activities that are centered around the forums and stuff when you go through your module. For some modules that is true, for some module it isn't. But I would recommend to get used to the forum, and I think that allows you to get motivated more. As I said earlier, the resources tab will bring up it's got three main sections. The first is downloads. And that allows you to download all of the audio or video content, all of the books that you have to study from in different formats, so such as a Word version, a PDF, like ebooks if you have a Kindle, and then you can also click through to like the video section, and that will allow you to download all the videos or certain videos if you want them on a mobile device or your iPad or a laptop or stuff to carry around with you for offline use. That's the resources section, the first section for downloads. The second is the library resources, and this is what I went through earlier. That simply takes you to resources that tell you how to use the library and how to access those. There is also the print on demand service. The print on demand service is what I spoke about earlier, about printing the module website, and that's the page that explains that. You can go through that if you need to. Apart from that, the resources first page just has a load of things which again is worth going through, that just allows you to familiarize yourself with the resources before the module as well. So lastly, on the module website, we have the news tab, and the news just relates to your module and to the course that you're on. If anything, the module team need to get out to you, this is where they will post that. The news often comes up in this module news side panel that's on the website as well, that's also listed alongside your tutor. And these kind of drop down boxes here, these panels can be quite useful just for quick information. So apart from that, that's kind of just a really compact, quick tutorial on how to use the Student Home and Open University like virtual learning environment platform, I guess. I hope it's helped in some degree.